Why won't you date? His boss asked. A single dad's answer broke her heart. The question landed like a quiet thunderclap in the middle of an ordinary workday, the kind that rearranges a life without warning, because it wasn't just curiosity behind it, it was concern, and it exposed a wound he had spent years carefully covering. He was a single father with tired eyes and steady hands, a man who showed up early, stayed late, and never spoke about himself, and when his boss finally asked why he never dated, the truth sitting in his chest was heavier than any workload he had ever carried. Before the story pulls you all the way in, pause for just a moment. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet strength of people who carry more than they show, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel Ripple of Kindness. Your support keeps stories like this alive. He had not always been this way. There was a time when laughter came easily to him, when plans for the future were spoken out loud instead of folded away. Then life did what it often does, without warning or fairness. His wife died suddenly, leaving behind a small house full of echoes and a toddler who cried at night for a mother who would never come back. Grief did not arrive all at once for him, it seeped in slowly, settling into routines, turning joy into responsibility and love into vigilance. He learned how to braid hair with clumsy fingers, how to pack lunches shaped like smiles, how to sit through parent-teacher meetings feeling both proud and painfully alone. Somewhere in those years, the idea of dating didn't vanish, it just became something he felt unworthy of. At work, he was known as dependable, quiet, almost invisible in the way the most reliable people often are. His boss noticed him long before she understood him. She saw how he never joined after-work gatherings, how he declined invitations with polite excuses, how his phone wallpaper wasn't a partner or a vacation, but a child's crayon drawing worn soft by time. She admired his work ethic, but it was his gentleness that lingered in her thoughts. He treated deadlines like promises and people like they mattered. When she finally asked him that question, she expected a simple answer, maybe a joke, maybe a deflection. What she received instead was a truth that shifted something deep inside her. His answer was not dramatic, not rehearsed, and not spoken with bitterness. It came out quietly, almost apologetically, as if he were explaining a flaw rather than a choice. He explained that his daughter had already lost one great love, and he could not bear the thought of her losing another if he chose wrong. He said that every time he imagined dating, he pictured her standing in a doorway, watching someone new try to fit into a space still shaped like her mother. He admitted that he was afraid of loving again because love, to him, had proven it could disappear without permission. He had built his life around protecting one small heart, even if it meant ignoring his own. His boss listened, and with every word, something inside her cracked open. She had assumed his solitude was preference, maybe even arrogance, but now she saw it for what it was, devotion sharpened by loss. She thought of the times she had gone home to silence by choice, filling it with distractions, never once considering what it meant to choose loneliness as an act of love. She went home that night and cried, not because of romance unfulfilled, but because she had witnessed a kind of love so pure it asked for nothing in return. Time moved forward, as it always does, carrying small changes in its current. His daughter grew older, her laughter louder, her questions more curious. She began to notice the empty chair at school events, the way other children had two hands to hold. One evening, she asked him why he never smiled at his phone like other parents did. The question wasn't an accusation, it was an opening. He realized then that in protecting her from loss, he might also be protecting her from seeing what healing looked like. That night, after she fell asleep, he sat alone with that thought, letting it hurt in a new way. At work, his boss began to treat him with a gentler awareness, not out of pity, but respect. She offered flexibility when she could, encouragement when he doubted himself, and something else he hadn't expected, space to be human. She never pushed, never suggested, never crossed a line. Instead, she modeled patience, showing him that care didn't have to demand anything. Slowly, without announcements or grand gestures, his walls began to thin. Change arrived not as a romance, but as permission. Permission to believe that love could coexist with fear. Permission to accept that his daughter's strength did not come from being shielded, but from being shown how to stand back up. One afternoon, he watched her help a younger child who had fallen on the playground, brushing dirt from their knees the way he once had for her. In that moment, he understood that loss had taught her compassion, not fragility. And maybe the same was true for him. When he finally considered dating, it wasn't because the pain was gone, but because it no longer controlled him. He realized that honoring the love he had lost did not require a lifetime of self-denial. It required living fully enough that her memory could breathe. The idea didn't feel like betrayal anymore. It felt like continuation. Near the end of this story, if it's touched something in you, if you felt that quiet ache or that slow hope, please take a second to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness. Your engagement helps these stories reach the hearts that need them most. Just before we close, I want to ask you something special. Please comment below and tell us what kindness, love, or second chances mean to you. Your words might be exactly what someone else is waiting to read. His boss never became his love story, and that was never the point. What she became was a witness to the power of quiet devotion and the courage it takes to open a heart again. His story reminds us that some people don't avoid love because they are afraid to feel, but because they have felt so deeply they are still learning how to carry it.